Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite YouTube channel and podcast. Hashtag KTSC Sports Talk with your host, Justin P. This is episode 186 for the YouTube channel. And for the audio podcast, it's season 5, episode 16. Y'all can listen to that on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Pandora, Podbean, Podtail, basically anywhere you get your music and podcast stuff from. Just type in hashtag KTSC Sports Talk and it'll list all the available platforms. Today, got a very special guest. I had his defensive coordinator on Friday. That was a good episode, so y'all can check that out. Bluefield State co-offensive coordinator, Rashard Alston. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on, brother.
It's a pleasure having you on, man. So, okay, we're going to get into some Q&A. You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Okay, all right. Question 1. What TV show or TV series did you like to binge watch?
Do I like to binge watch? So, couple years back, about a year or two ago, and I just put Lawrence on it too as well. I was binge watching Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder. Man, when I tell you, I watched those shows. It took me about 2-3 weeks to get through the whole couple. I think it's like 5 or 6 seasons of Scandal. I got through all of them in like 2 or 3 weeks.
That's something like Stranger Things, ain't it?
I haven't started Stranger Things. That's
on Netflix as well, right?
Yep, it's on Netflix. See, I haven't seen Stranger Things, but I've been hearing good things about it. So I think that might be the next one I start. But you know, when I start watching this show, I like to really get into it and binge watch it. So somebody told me about Scandal, and then somebody told me about How to Get Away with Murder too. And I had already seen it. Like my mom, my grandma, them used to watch it all the time, but I never. You know, I would walk in and they'd be watching it, never really got into it. And then I just sat down and watched it, man, and I was hooked. I'm talking about us late at night. I'm like, okay, one more show. Next thing you know, it's 3:30 in the morning. You still watching, you know what I mean? So Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder was the last ones I really binge watched. But that's how I get, man. And what's one me and my lady was watching? It's called Money Heist. Yeah, I like Money Heist. So,
okay. Question 2. Give me your top 5 favorite movies of all time. This is your top 5 that you just love to watch, that you can watch.
Okay. So, all right, number 1 for me, just because it was my favorite since I was a kid, man. Space Jam, the original Space Jam. That was my number 1 favorite movie when I was like growing up as a kid. I wanted to watch it every day. So I got to keep that at 1. 2, I'm going to go with the whole Fast and Furious saga. Like, I love them movies. I don't know what it's about, but what about them, but I love them. 3, I'm going to go with The Wood. Like The Wood a lot. Classic. Okay. I like, let me see. Okay. What's next? Okay, I like all the Fridays. Friday After Next is my favorite, but I love them all. Like all the Fridays, and then I'm gonna go with the Rush Hours.
Oh, those good. That's a good list right there. Can't beat that.
Yeah.
All right, question 3. Give me your top 5 music artists of all time. No particular category. It could be rap, R&B, soul. Doesn't matter.
Top 5. All right, this ain't no particular order. My favorite rapper, you know, is Gucci Mane, especially old Gucci. You know, coming up that was my stuff. I think Drake. You know, I think he the next few years he's gonna be in that GOAT conversation.
Oh,
sure. Got to put Drake in there. Love Keith Sweat.
Okay.
Keith Sweat. You know. Yeah. Let me see. Keith Sweat, Drake, Gucci. That's 3. Man, it's so much to choose from, man. All these categories, you know, because I like my 90s R&B, you know, I like my rap, I like, you know, but it's just, oh man.
No other singers, no female singers, like
yeah, a couple of them now. It's a couple, but it's like which ones I want to get that title to. There's only 2 spots left, you know. So but there's a couple of them, you know. You can't go wrong with Beyonce. You know, her body of work is crazy. You know what I'm saying? She always gonna put out some heat. So Beyonce definitely is in there. You can't go wrong with Beyonce. And shoot, I'll go with Rihanna. I like Rihanna.
I like that. I like how you mixed it up. You showed the lady some love.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's why I was holding them two spots down for him. I was trying to figure who I wanted to give him to.
Question 4: Your favorite food or snack?
Favorite food or snack, man? Wings.
Okay.
Wings, man. I can eat wings every day. Hot wings, lemon pepper, teriyaki wings, man. That's my stuff.
Okay. For our snack, do you eat like any chips and candy and ice cream?
Okay. So I'm not a big snack guy. So like I try to find some healthy snacks, man. But wheat thins. Wheat thins they're pretty good. They're a little healthy snack, but as much of them I eat, it's probably not healthy. Because once I start eating them, I'll mess around and eat the whole box. So I don't think that's as healthy as I aim to be. But yeah, I like wheat thins when I'm just trying to snack on some. I'm not a big potato chip guy. You know what I mean? Fruit like Scooby Doo fruit snacks, still love them. Still love them to this day. Or the great value fruit snacks. I like fruit snacks. But wheat thins and fruit snacks probably for me.
Okay. That's good choice. Question 5: What activities you like to partake in when you're not working?
Man, so me and my head coach, we like to grill, man. We like to just grill out, hang out, you know what I'm saying, chill, put some meat on the grill, and rather it's we smoking it or like grilling it directly, ribs, chicken, brisket, whatever. So that's kind of like a little. It's therapeutic for me, you know what I'm saying. It's just to chill out, you know what I'm saying, watch something on TV and then go outside by the grill, put something on there, let it cook, sit outside by the grill, just talk, if we just hanging out. But it's kind of therapeutic for me.
Hey man, that sounds good. Y'all don't go fishing, nothing like that. No, if you go
Well,
fish.
back home, I used to go fishing a lot, man. Actually, when I was back home, I went back home a couple weeks ago for my birthday. Me and my granddad went fishing. So I'm originally from Charleston, South Carolina. So it's a peninsula, so it's water everywhere. My grandparents grew up. They got a river right outside their house, a creek. I'm sorry, right outside their house, in the dock attached, right to their yard. So I go out there crab and shrimp and fish and all that stuff. So I came up doing all of that. So that's second nature to me. But where I'm at right now, in on the border of Virginia, West Virginia, it's not a whole lot of places to go fishing. But fishing is definitely something I like to do when I'm around some water.
Hey, that's pretty good. Question 6: What's your dream vacation?
Dream vacation, okay. So I've always wanted to go to Jamaica. So I always wanted to go to Jamaica. I just like the vibe of it from what I see on the internet. You know what I mean? So my family actually just booked a vacation, for next April for my uncle's birthday. So a lot of us heading down there. Like there's like 20 plus of us, man. We heading down to Jamaica next year. So that's gonna be a dream come true for me because I always wanted to, kind of go to Jamaica, man. So that's been one of the ones for me.
Hey man, nothing wrong with that, man. Go sit on the hammock, sit back, chill,
Yeah,
drink.
I'm telling you, man. Get on a little bamboo boat down the little river.
That's definitely cool. All right, last one. Question 7 is everybody's favorite. If you could have dinner with 5 guests, dead or alive, famous or non-famous, who would you have dinner with?
Man, okay. Barack Obama,
Good one.
for sure. Little story, but I actually was able to shake Barack's hand when he was running. He was running for president the first time. This was back when I was middle. I was in middle school. I was in eighth grade. And he was about to run. He wasn't even running yet. He was just getting his campaign together. He was going around speaking at different places. My mom, she came and she checked me out of school. She was like, "Hey, we going." We came to check out. I thought something was wrong. She said, "No, we're going to see the next black president speak today." I was like, "Who was that?" She was like, "His name is Barack Obama." So I'm a middle school kid. You don't really know about the president who's in the race for the president yet. You in middle school, So we went to go watch him speak downtown Charleston, and then he came through the crowd, man. He was just dapping everybody up. I was like, man, I like this dude. I really got into him speaking, and he ended up winning, in the race for the president, man. I thought he did a great job. So Barack Obama, man, is definitely one of them. Um, Michael Vick, he's my favorite football player of all time. Uh, you know, Dwayne Wade, he's my favorite basketball player of all time. So I gotta have them two. So that's three right there. Definitely want to have Martin Luther King there. God has did so much for us. And man, the last one's a tough one. I want to say Ruby Bridges. Ruby Bridges. This just she was that first young lady to go and integrate schools and one of the reasons why saying schools are the way it is and society is the way it is today. I just want to sit with her, ask her a few questions, and just see what, like I said, how it was for her, what was going through her mind, and saying those type of things. So those are my 5.
That's a great list, man. I like it. It's different people, different walks of life. I like it. Good, man. All right, let's get right into it. So, how was it growing up in Charleston, South Carolina? Like, how was your childhood and all that stuff like?
Man, it was amazing, man. It was amazing. Back down in Charleston, man, it's kind of like everybody kind of knows everybody. It's the city, but everybody knows everybody. I grew up playing sports, grew up in the gym playing sports, man, and the coaches your coaches growing. My coaches growing up were an extension of my parents. You know what I'm saying? Your coaches, you look up to them. They have a hand in raising you, and I truly had a village, man. Growing up, had a village of people looking after me and bringing me along the right way. And growing up in Charleston, it really made me who I am today. Just all the people who had their hands on me, and all the people who prayed for me, and what I mean, coming up in the church and all that stuff too. Man, it was great, man. I go back as much as I can. My people are still down there. I think I'm kind of spoiled growing up in Charleston. That's like one of the most vacation places in America. A lot of people come down there and vacation all the time. So I kind of take it for granted how we got all those beaches and stuff down there. But growing up in Charleston, man, I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
So, you was playing football coming up like at your early age. Like, how did you get into football?
Okay, so growing up, my dad was a youth football coach. He coached, the youth league, volunteer coaching. So when I was about 4 years old, he would take me to practice with him. He would take me to practice, and he had like the 8-year-olds, like the 6 to 8-year-olds. So when the guys, it was 6 to 8-year-olds. The guys first started putting on pads. He was just teaching them the fundamentals and all that stuff. And I would want to go out there. I wouldn't want to play. He would take me just so I could see it. He was like, "No, son, you can't play. You're not old enough. No, son, you're not old enough. You're not old enough." And then when I was 5, he'd take me out there again. And every day I would beg him and beg him and beg him. So he finally got tired of me begging him when I was 5, and he asked my mom. He was like, "Man, this boy won't keep asking me if he can play football." I told him he got to ask you. And my mom was like, "Sure, I don't care. He out there with you. Go buy them equipment, and you can play if he out there with you." So he put me in the pads, man, and I was like 5 years old. I was out there with the older kids, man, and just getting tossed around. They were tossing me around. I was the littlest one out there, but it was fun for me, because I had been so eager to play. So man, from the age of 5, when you put me in those pads and just coming up over there and playing, I played ever since until college. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah. So did you play like at high school and stuff like that?
I played from 5 years old all the way through. So I played rec until I got to high school. I played I played from 5 to 13. I played for the rec department. Played on a little small town called Johns Island, South Carolina, for a little while. Then I came over to North Charleston, to the city. Played there until I was about 13, and then went to high school at Goose Creek. Played there for 4 years, Goose Creek, South Carolina, and then played my college ball at Newberry College, D2 in outside of Columbia, South Carolina. So,
Guys, did you go play college football?
Yep, Newberry College. Yep, Newberry College, D2.
Tell us how that experience was.
It was fun, man. College football, it was really fun, man. I met a lot of my lifelong friends playing, college football. I probably talked to more people from Newberry, that that I still hang out with than I had from growing up. You know what I mean? So those kind of became those guys I played ball with at Newberry kind of became my lifelong brothers. You know what I mean? We a couple of them we joined fraternity together. We joined the Mega Psi Phi together. We actually going now tomorrow to Charlotte for our convention, our conclave. So um, yeah, I mean, I made some lifelong friends, man. That's the biggest thing that I take away from playing ball in college, man. The relationships I built, man. I built relationships with my coaches, other guys I played with, some guys I played against. You know what I mean? Just the relationships we built, and that's when I really fell in love with football. That's when I got to college. Like I loved football, and you know what I mean. I thought I wanted to, like coming into college, I thought I wanted to go into engineering. You know what I'm saying? I was good at math in high school, you know, and you know all my teachers was like, you know, if you, I took AB and BC calculus in high school, so it was like, okay, you can go to college, you know, and major in engineering. You graduate, you would make six figures. That's all I needed to hear. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, I'm going to school for engineering. Once I got to Newberry, man, I started playing football, and you start going to those meetings, and then it becomes a job. It's a full-time thing. Football is, you know, when you're in college, and I kind of fell in love with it, man. The process and watching film and actually learning how to watch film. My coaches really taught me the ins and outs, taught me how to watch film, you know, and kind of fell in love with it. And I knew, man, like once I was done playing, at some point you go to hang the cleats up. Once I was done playing, I knew I wanted to be around football every day still. My position coach at the time, Coach Spivey, he was like, man, this is the next best thing to coaching. That's why I do it. It's the next best thing. You still get to compete every day. Still got to get to, you know what I'm saying, be around football every day. So that's when I decided, you know, that I wanted to coach. It was like my sophomore year playing ball.
Okay, tell us about your very first coaching job.
Very first coaching job was North Charleston High School. Um, coming out of my senior year, coming out of Newberry, so I applied to get a couple of different GA spots. I think I applied to over like 100 jobs at the college level. I wanted to coach at the college level at first, you know, but it was hard to get into. Didn't get any of the jobs, so I was back home, and you know I was working at a plant. I was working a plant job, trying to apply to get, you know, different jobs at the college level and then the high school level at that point. And then I seen a friend of mine who has just started coaching at North Charleston High School back home. And I can so he posted that he just started. He took the wide receiver position there, and I was like, man, congratulations, man. Happy for you, right? And then he hit me back and was like, man, you still trying to get into coaching? What you doing now? I said, yeah. He said, well, they got an opening for running backs. It's you know what I'm saying, it's like a volunteer position, you know, with a little stipend or whatnot. But he said they got a position for the running backs. I was like, man, shoot, get me in touch with the head coach. I love the coach, you know. So it was North Charleston High School. You know, it was a spot like right where I grew up at. You know what I mean? It's right where I was from. So you know, it was a humbling experience to go back and be able to help and give back to my community. You know what I mean? So, and then he got me on the phone with the head coach, who was Devin Smalls. Owe him a lot, man. Gave me my first chance. He's also a Newberry grad, you know, so he went to Newberry. I went to Newberry. He brought me in for an interview, sat me down. We chopped it up a little bit, man, and you know, he offered me the job, and forever indebted to him, man, giving me my first chance to be able to coach, and be able to coach in my community. You know what I mean? So that meant a lot to me. So that was my first one there. And, you know what I'm saying, coming out of college in 2017, he hired me as his running back coach. So
Okay, cool. So how was that coaching the running backs? Like what was that experience like? And like what do you look for in a running back?
So back then, coaching running backs, man, it was my first coaching job, period. So it was a little different, you know what I mean? Like you used to playing, like coming from playing and coaching, it's a completely different thing. So now you trying to make sure you get those guys prepared, and then you see them making some of the same mistakes that you made and doing some of the same things that you did, and you try to, you know, now you remember some of the things that your coaches were telling you. It's like, man, okay, so this is what coach meant when he was telling me that. This is what coach meant when he was telling me this. So now how can I get this through their head, and how can I paint the picture for them so that they see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? A lot of times in coaching, that's the disconnect. You know, a coach you may be telling the kid something, but he don't really understand what you're trying to tell him. You know what I mean? You want him to do something a certain way, but it's not visual for him, so he can't really understand it. So for me, the biggest challenge for me was, okay, how can I break this down into their language? You know what I mean? So now that they understand exactly what I'm trying to tell them to do, exactly what we're trying to accomplish on everything, man. It was rewarding, man. It was very rewarding, humble experience. And I'm glad I actually started at the high school level, because starting there, you actually have to work on teaching. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things like coaching is teaching, man. A lot of people don't know that. They think it's just X's and O's. They can just call them plays, roll the ball out. You call this scheme or whatever. But it's big on teaching, man. You really got to know how to teach, and starting at that level and starting at North Charleston High School taught me, how to teach, how to reach different kids at different levels, and everybody learns different. You know what I mean? So now you got to just see what kind of learning styles and methods of teaching. You know what I mean? You want to how you can reach each kid in your room. So it was a very humbling experience, and it was a great experience for me to start off.
Got you. What led you to Bluefield State?
Okay, so Tony, my head coach, Tony Coxum, he's almost family to me, man. He's really almost family. So when I was at Newberry, my sophomore year, and I decided I wanted to get into coaching, so I had to change my major, right? So my major, I was going to go into engineering and everything, so I had to change my major. So I told my family, I'm in this group text with my mom, my grandma, and my two aunts. So I talked to them. We try to talk every day just so we all in the loop together. So I was like, y'all, I want to change my major. I think I want to go down a different career path. They was like, what you thinking about? I was like, man, I really want to coach football when I'm done, and I want to change my major so that it can align so that I can do that. They was like, okay, if that's something you want to do, we can support you. And then my two aunts, they were like, we got a homeboy, that we went to school with, we went to high school with. He's coaching for the Denver Broncos right now. He's coaching. He probably can give you some pointers. Would you like us to introduce you to him? His name is Tony Coxum. I said, you right. You sure are right. I want you to introduce me to him. So they gave me Coach Coxum's number, or give him my number. We got on the phone, man, chopped it up, kind of just like just got to know each other. We didn't really talk about football at all. We just kind of got to know each other, chopped up a little bit. And I was like, man, I'm trying to get into coaching. Like, what kind of pointers could you give me to get in there? And then he was like, well, I'll tell you what. He said, he told me, and he gave me a bunch of different pointers. So he was like, sometimes you can get you a GA spot. If not, you start off at the high school level and work your way up. You know what I'm saying? But he gave me a lot of different pointers. And he was like, okay, if it ever comes to a time and a place, where I got a chance to hire you, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, man, I'll bring you along. But so now that I know you're serious about coaching, he said, do the things I'm telling you to do. Take your time with it, work hard, put your head down and grind, and just work your way up, man. And if there's ever a time that I'm a head coach and I'm able to bring you along, I'll do that. He did that, So when he got this job, not this past October, but 2 Octobers ago. So I was in my second year GAing at Hastings College in Nebraska. So when I left North Charleston, went to Hastings College as a graduate assistant coaching receivers. So in year 2 of that, Coach Coachman got this job in that October. So we were finishing the season up, and I texted him, shot him a text, and I was like, just wanted to hit you up and tell you congratulations, man. I'm proud of you. Know you do great things there, right? I had not known nothing about Bluefield at all. I just seen he got the job, so I just wanted to congratulate him. So he called me. He was like, "Hey, what you doing now?" And I just got out of. I said, "You just got out of meeting." He was like, "Where you at?" I was like, "So I'm in year 2 of my graduate assistantship at Hastings College, coaching the receivers." He said, "Okay. So when you finish up?" I said, "I finish up in May." He said, "Okay." He said, "So once your season's over, would you be able to finish your classes online?" I was like, I could probably set that up. He was like, "All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. He said, I hired my offensive coordinator already. His name is Coach Gales. I'm gonna get you two on the phone. He said, I'm not gonna tell them to hire you, right? Because I'm gonna just get y'all on the phone. I want y'all to just get to know each other, okay? And then we'll go from there. That's all right, cool. So 2 days later, Coach Jermaine Gales, he was the offensive coordinator last year here. He's the head coach now at Lincoln University in Missouri. So he got on the phone with me, called me, and we just got to rapping, man, just talking. Didn't really talk about football a lot. We just talking, you know. And then he was like, man, where'd you play ball at? I was like, I played at Newberry. He said, what year? I said, it's from 13 to 17. He said, man, the whole time you playing at Newberry, man, I was at Morris Hill. And Morris Hill is a school that's in our conference. So we played against each other for, you know what I'm saying? So that we connected there and now, you know, and so now we hit it off right there. And then, you know, so we just started chopping it up again, and then we get off the phone, and then a couple of days later he called me back. And then we just actually started talking X's and O's for the first time. And once we started talking X's and O's, we realized that we shared a lot of the same ideals offensively, you know what I mean, and philosophy wise. And he was like, okay, me and Coach Colson give you a call back. So like a week or so later, they called me, man, and offered me the job. I was home for Thanksgiving break, and they called me, offered me the job, man. And so I went back to Hastings after, you know what I'm saying, Christmas and all that, packed all my stuff up in a U-Haul, put my car on the back, and drove on down, man. Finished my classes up online. But, man, we got here and started this program up, got here last January. And started this thing up from scratch, man. Like I said, when we got here, we didn't even have a football at the time. You know, it was a stadium here, but that was it. There was no uniforms, no equipment, no players on campus. The school hadn't had football in 41 years. You know what I mean? So it was literally from the ground up, got it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? We worked in the office. All the coaches worked in the office, probably about the size of this room I'm in right now. And it ain't very big. You know what I'm saying? We worked around a small little conference room table. But yeah, man, we got it out the mud and built that thing up off the ground from nothing. But it was fun every step of the way, man. Every step of the way was fun because, like, you really don't know what it takes to build a program until you got to build a program. There's little things in the program that you really take for granted you don't think about. It's like, oh, man, we got to order one of those. We don't have one of those. You know what I'm saying? So it's little things like that you take for granted, man. But this process has been fun. But yeah, that's how I got here.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially at college football. It's hard. It's hard building a youth program, let alone a high school program. So I commend y'all for that. That's just gonna make the journey more even sweeter once y'all accomplish what y'all want to accomplish. Will y'all got an amazing staff. So tell me about you the co-offensive coordinator. I know how that is. For those who might not understand, like your title and duties, just elaborate with them. Like what is your specific duty? Like, do you call the pass plays, run plays? Like, how does that work?
Okay, so my duty. So for one, I'm also the receivers coach. So I coach the receivers on all the receiver meetings. But as far as offensive play calling duty, stuff like that, I just help in the game planning and putting together. We put together the game plan, putting together the call sheet. So we come together as a unit and say, okay, these are the things we like this week. These are the things we like out of different formations, different looks. That for that matter, my job is, you know what I'm saying, I have a certain areas that I look for in scouting opponents. So my job is to provide, you know what I'm saying, background and feedback for those areas and tell what I think offensively we can do, you know what I'm saying, to score points in those areas. You know what I mean? So that's my job, to the coordinator, Aaron Anguiano, to help him out. So that's really my job to support him in every aspect that he needs my support. I'm kind of like his right hand man, you know what I mean? So just back him up and we're gonna do the things that he wants to do, and we're gonna my job is to support him and keep him on the game plan that he wants to accomplish.
So when y'all installing the offense, does it come to you like, Coach, man, what do you want to add in here? Like,
Yeah, of course. Yep. So we our guys report on the 27th, but all summer, man, we've been sitting in there bouncing ideas off each other. You know what I mean? Okay, we're going to install this. So he'll ask me, okay, how you want to do it? How do you want to install this? Okay, what do you think about this play? Do you want this play, or do you have an idea to where we can get to this same look out of something different? And then, okay, I'll be like, well, I think we should do it this way. Or I was like, okay, no, I think that look you got right there is fine. You know what I'm saying? So we just bounce the ideas off each other back and forth, and then we come to a consensus like, okay, yeah, that's the way, you know what I'm saying, I think will fit our guys. So at the end of the day, man, it's all about your players. You can say, okay, I want to run this offense, I want to run this play, this scheme, but they got to fit the guys that you have. So we bounce ideas off each other, and we're like, okay, so you think this guy can do this? Do you think the guys we got can do this? Or it's like, okay, well, I like the scheme, but let's tailor it more for the guys that we have. Let's tailor it to the strengths that they have. Like, okay, our guys do this really well, so let's do more of this, because that's something they do really well. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we've been installing all summer.
Okay, cool. So how has how does it work? Like, with y'all going against y'all defense, like I know all those practices intense. Like, you're going against a guy. Just speak on your defensive coordinator for a second, man. Just gloat on him for a little bit, because he definitely gloated on you guys when a couple days ago.
Yeah, man. No, man. Coach Rob, man, Lawrence, man. He's a DB guy, and I'm a receiver guy. So I'm the receivers coach. So over the spring when I started coaching receivers at practice, we're both just competitive. You know what I'm saying? So we get at practice. That's my guy for real. You know what I mean? So we talk trash and do all that, but that's really my guy. You know what I'm saying? So we make it competitive. So we get those competitive juices flowing amongst ourselves, and our players just
follow suit.
Exactly, they follow suit. So they see, okay, Coach Alston to come out here, he ready to compete today. Coach Rob ready to compete today. So every day we between them lines, man, we competing. Whether we got a football out there or not, it don't matter if it's sprints. We competing, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, Coach Rob, he's fun to go against, man. He's a really good defensive mind. Smart guy. He X's and O's, and he relates to the players. So those guys really want to play hard for him because he genuinely cares about them. You know what I'm saying? He cares about his players. The players know that, and they'll run through a wall for him. And then when you add that he actually knows his stuff, he knows ball, he knows offense, so in turn he knows defenses. You know what I'm saying? He knows what coordinators want to get to. We played ball and been coaching at a lot of different levels. He coached at a high school level, so he knows different ways to teach, and he knows he's not afraid to roll up his sleeves and get his hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? So one of the most selfless coaches that we have on the staff. Like last year, he was doing the laundry, man. A lot of people, he won't tell you that himself, but man, he was washing guys' laundry for him, like, because we didn't have no trainers. I mean, we didn't have no managers. You know what I'm saying? So it was by committee, man. Everything that goes into a program, us 8 coaches had to do it. You know what I mean? And he's one of the most selfless guys because he was coaching the DBs. He had his own room and all that stuff, and he was still washing guys' laundry. He was in charge of all the equipment. You know what I'm saying? So we going on the road and packing extra helmets, extra shoulder pads, extra cleats, because guys don't leave their cleats when we go on the road, and distributing all that stuff, collecting the stuff again. And he did all that stuff, man, by himself, and among coaching the DB. So when he got promoted to DC, man, I was like, man, that's well earned. That ain't given, that's earned. He earned this spot. He's gonna do a great job calling the defense for us this year.
Okay, so let everybody know, Zach. I forgot to ask him this. Where exactly is Bluefield located for those who don't know?
Okay, so we're right on that border of Virginia, West Virginia, on the southwest corner of West Virginia. So it's actually a Bluefield, Virginia, and it's a Bluefield, West Virginia, right? So just to paint a picture for you, I live on the Virginia side, right? But it takes me 7 minutes to get to the office every day. So it's like the state line kind of runs right through the middle of the city, kind of like Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. So it's right on the border of Virginia, West Virginia, right up 77. So.
Okay. All right. So are you a hands-on type of coach? Like I know you coach receivers and all that, but as far as like, do you get your hands like do you talk to the linemen as well? Like how's your offensive line coach? Like talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so yeah, we like I'm definitely a hands-on guy. I'm definitely a hands-on guy. So this past year we had our offensive line coach was Donald Manley. He's actually now going to coach the running backs for us. And then we got a new offensive line coach in Dimitri Hill. He was at ASA Miami last year coaching offensive line. Now he's coaching offensive line here. But man, both of those guys are tremendous. You know, so both of those guys are great coaches. They know their stuff. One thing we big on here is letting coaches coach. You know what I'm saying? We hire a guy to coach a position, let him coach it. You know what I'm saying? We meet as a staff and as coordinators, and we okay, boom. This is what we want to get accomplished. This is the scheme we want. This is the look we want. Okay, now go let that coach teach. You know what I'm saying? Let that guy teach. So I won't overstep him and go talk to the offense. Like I'll talk to the offense as a whole. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna just go behind him and say, okay, now I'm gonna tell the offensive line to do this. I'll do this. I'll tell him, okay, boom, this is the look we want, coach. And he'll be like, all right, cool. He'll go teach it, and it'll look, you know what I'm saying, the way we want it to. That's the kind of coaching staff Coach Colson put together all around. Defense is like that as well, man. Coach Colson is like that. Our head coach, man, he hired the guys he wanted, and he hired them for a reason. And that's the mindset we have. The guys we hired here, everybody here is handpicked. You know what I'm saying? Every coach is handpicked, every player. So everybody here for a reason. So when you hire a guy to do a job, let him do it. You know what I'm saying? He's qualified, and you picked him for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So we let them do their jobs.
Gotcha. So and you know, today's football by everything being pass. You guys still like have that mindset, like, hey, we still gonna run this football down your throat, then open up the pass.
Oh yeah. So we're going to be balanced, right? Balanced, and balance doesn't mean for us. Balance doesn't mean okay, I'm gonna line up, I'm gonna run the ball 50 times, I'm gonna throw the ball 50 times. Balance means I'm gonna run the ball when I want to run the ball, and when I need to run the ball, and I'm gonna pass the ball when I want to pass the ball, and when I need to pass the ball. Does that make sense? So we're gonna be able to do both, man. We got great coaches, man, and we got great kids. Coming in last year, we played with 95% freshmen. You know, we went out there and was able to win some games, man. So kids come in and they bought in, and they're not afraid to just get out there and compete. If you look at rosters around the country, teams usually have about 4 or 5 freshmen that play for them at all. You know what I'm saying? We started 19 to 24 freshmen. You know what I mean? So those guys came in and they didn't look around like, oh, I'm just a freshman. No, they went out there and just played ball. Went out there, did the things we coached them to do, competed their butts off, and really got after it. So it's a testament to the kind of kids that we got to buy into our program and decided to believe in us as coaches in this startup program. And they came in, man, and knowing that we didn't have much, right? Like at first, we didn't even have a locker room. You guys didn't flinch at it. You know what I'm saying? They got brand new equipment. You know what I'm saying? They got brand new jerseys and all that stuff. But that was it, man. Like we got it out the mud. You know what I'm saying, for this first year, and the kids did not flinch. They came in with a blue collar mindset, came to work every day, worked hard, busted their butts, man. And in turn, we went out there and was able to put some points on the board and able to win some games. So it was fun.
Yeah. So what does a player? What boxes does a player have to check off to come play for you?
So work ethic, right? So for one, as a receiver, we have a mentality that we go by. So we got these 4 like kind of cardinal principles for me, right? And it's dog, DAWG, okay, DAWG. So I tell the receivers the D has 2 meanings, okay. Discipline is the first one, all right. Discipline is the first meaning of that D. So discipline means I'm gonna be where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it, no matter if no one's looking. Right? That's discipline. I'm gonna do it all the time, no matter if no one's looking. The second D is dominate. Right? Dominate. Okay, yeah, you got your job done, but did you dominate? I don't want guys to just gonna do enough to get their job done. I don't want guys that's gonna just do enough to get by, right? Because that ain't good enough to win ball games. You know what I'm saying? That's mediocre. We want to be great. We want to win championships. That's what we're chasing, right? So I want a guy who's gonna go out there, do his job, and then dominate, right? And I'm not just talking about on the field. I'm talking about in the classroom. I want a guy who's gonna go in the classroom and he's if all possible, he can get an A in that class. I want him to get an A in that class, right? But if let's say he gets a B in the class, right? But he didn't turn in all the assignments. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go to all classes. He missed some classes. He could have got an A in that class if he tried his hardest, right? I'm pissed at that B, right? But let's say a guy did everything. He went to all the study sessions, right? He at every class, asked in the front row of the class, asking questions, turning in all his assignments, did extra credit, but he got a C+. We're gonna celebrate because you dominated. You did all you can do. You did your best, right? That's what dominating is to me. So that's the first letter. That's dominate, right? And A is the second letter, and I'm talking about. I want you to be aggressive, right? I don't want you to be conservative at all. We're gonna be aggressive from the time we step on the field until the time it's 4 zeros up there, right? I want you to be aggressive, okay? And that's on the field, off the field. We're gonna be aggressive about working on this field. We're gonna be aggressive about getting my classwork, aggressive about getting my degree. You know what I'm saying? If you're aggressive enough, you can graduate with more than one degree. You know what I'm saying? If that's something you want to do, if you want to really be that aggressive, you know what I'm saying? You can graduate with a couple majors and a couple minors. You know what I'm saying? So aggressive. We're gonna be aggressive, right? The next thing is W. The W stands for work ethic. Nobody's gonna outwork us. Nobody's gonna outwork us. You know what I'm saying? Every time somebody goes against anybody that's in my position group, on my offense, on my team, I want to say, man, that cat worked hard. That cat works hard. And that's how I want us to be talked about. Okay, them cats over there work hard, man, all the time. All the time. If they're doing something, they're working hard at it. So nobody's gonna outwork us. And then the last thing is G, and that's grit. Right? Grit is like you down. It's you don't feel like you got nothing left. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel like you got nothing left. But grit is that next thing that just kicks in and it puts you in overdrive and it just takes over and you just give everything you got until you empty the tank. And that's grit. You got to have a little bit of grit to play for me, because there's gonna be times where you feel like you can't go no more, right? Your mind starts telling your body you can't go no more. You know what I'm saying? You checking out, but you got to have a little bit of grit about you, that you can just pull yourself up and be like, man, no, I got to finish what I started. So those are the kind of the cardinal principles that I look for right there.
Hey man, sounds good to me. Just what do you say to that kid that might not got the grades to probably go to a Power 5 school, but then had and his hopes is a little dimmed a little bit. How do you approach those kids? Let them know, hey man, you can come to Bluefield State and still be able to make something out yourself. How do you engage in a conversation with that kid that had his hopes set so high on on a Power 5, which is good. It's always good to aim high, but
Right.
not ready for that level right away. So how do you hone in on those type guys?
So those guys, so the way we approach them is the way we approach every other kid, man. It was like, okay, how much do you really love football? Do you really love it? Do you like it a lot, or do you love it? Right? If you love football, man, you can get, and you're talented enough. That league, that league you're trying to get, that next level that you're trying to get to, you can get to it from any level, right? So you come here and you do what you're supposed to do, man. If you're good enough, NFL gonna find you, and it helps when your head coach is coaching in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Your head coach coached in the NFL, was assistant special teams coordinator with the Broncos when they won Super Bowl 50. So he's won a Super Bowl. He's coached in the NFL for a number of years. He coached with the Ravens for a number of years. You know what I'm saying? So that that's really how I approach it. Like, man, listen, that door closed for you, but that doesn't mean that the opportunity's gone. You can come to HBCU, D2 HBCU, have a great time, meet great people, get a great degree, and get coached up by great coaches, and you will have relationships when you leave here that you'll take for a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So I played D2 ball, man. Playing college football and being right was one of the best times of my life. So That's really how I hone in on them, man. I just sit down and have a conversation with them. Just man, do you really love football, and that is something that you really want to do, and we go from there.
Gotcha. It's just like, and just one. Let's go ahead and round it off with this. Just give everybody, just give us your thoughts as far as HBCU versus Power Five. Do you think it's a big difference? Not really big difference, or it's just more resources that's just being given to those schools. That if y'all giving the same stuff, it'll be even playing field.
Yeah, man, I truly think so, man. So it's definitely the difference is definitely the resources. It's definitely the resources, man, because there are great kids at both of those. I mean, some like obviously a lot of HBCUs before Deion started doing a lot of HBCUs wasn't getting the 5-star recruits and all that stuff. But I'm telling you, man, there's some great ball players come out of HBCUs. A lot of NFL players, a lot of NFL Hall of Famers
Yeah,
came
from the
came from HBCUs. Exactly, they came from a HBCU. So man, they've always had the talent. So they always have great coaches. There's just not a spotlight on it. You know what I mean? Because of the resources. They don't have the nice shiny bells and whistles, so everybody's not paying attention to it. You know what I'm saying? So, but man, HBCUs, if they had the same resources and the same spotlight, it could be comparable.
Got you, man. Thank you, Coach, man. I appreciate your time, man. Just anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, man, it's been a pleasure to be on here, man. I appreciate you having me on here, brother.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, I want to have your head coach on and your other OC. I want to get both of them on, so I need you to try to make that happen for me.
I got you. I'll put the bug in the air. I got you.
All right, man. Everyone, that's it for episode 186. Y'all can check this out on YouTube, listen to it on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. So that's it for this episode, everyone. Be great on your way to the figure eight, and always remember the hashtag KTSC. Keep that same energy from your host, Justin P. And my special guest, Rashard Alston, co-offensive coordinator at Bluefield State. Love you guys, and have an amazing Wednesday, and I'll see you guys Friday.